Hi everyone, it's Bev at Creating with Bev, and I'm just starting a new masterboard this morning for my next journal, and I thought I'd pop the camera on. So I'm going to continue. I just started. I just have a plain sheet of my printer paper. I use a 28-pound printer paper, but I think anything would have worked. And I'm just going to stick some papers down to start a background. I'm using a matte medium as my glue of choice this morning, just for something different. Sometimes I just go to the cabinet and pull out the first thing that my hand stops on. And I'm just putting these kind of randomly, starting with music or a book page, just because I love book page and it's kind of generic. You can top it with anything. So I'm going to continue with the rest of this book page. I already ripped it into um, different size pieces. I'm just going to lay it on my plain white paper. Bring it over the edges in a lot of places, and I'll cut that off later. A lot of white there, so I hope everybody's doing okay. I like to start working on a new journal with a masterboard because I like to start my journals with the ephemera. I know that might be a little strange to some, but before I do my signatures or anything, I like to get a lot of my ephemera pieces made up, so that once I do put the journal together, then it's a piece of cake to start filling it up and decorating it. I know in this case, sometimes I don't, but in this case, I know the color scheme that will be in my next journal. It's called Lavender and Lemons. So a lot of the pretty yellows, lavenders, some greens. So if I start with the book page, then I can do anything I want next. And I have already torn up a page that has a lot of the lavender. It's one of the printable pages actually that I'll use in my journal. So I'm going to tear that up and add it to my masterboard. And let's get this one going this way. Just kind of random. I'm really not worried about getting the top done yet because I'll go back over and give it a coat over the top when I'm all finished. And then of course I have to let it dry real good before I start cutting it up into tags and pockets and pouches and bookmarks and belly bands and all the good stuff. And if it, starts to warp on me, I don't mind because I'm going to let it settle under a heavy book or something for a few hours, and it'll all be flat when it's done. I'm going to push on a little bit. About one more of this. Let me put this down. I'm just filling in the blanks. I tend to go a little heavy on my glue. I try to get better about that, but just me. Like I said, I will go down and make sure everything's tacked down when I'm done. And one more of the book page. I can hear a motor turning on and off in my room here, and I'm not sure where that's coming from. Oh, I know. I just turned on the dishwasher. Yay, wake up, Bev. I did just finish putting my breakfast dishes in the dishwasher and get it started. So if you hear humming in the background, don't worry. I'm not under attack or anything. Oh, it's my dishwasher. Okay, let's fill in. This is part of the paper that comes out of my printable. Got the lavenders on it. It's pretty. I'm going to put that in some of these empty spots. And fill in holes, so to speak. I could use glue stick to do this, but I don't have my glue stick this morning. So this is what I'm doing instead. It's right here. Pull that little piece off. So right now we're just looking at these two backgrounds. If it doesn't fill it up, I'll of course pull out another one. And I've got all kinds of things to add for focal points. Maybe right here I'll do one. Put something different there in the middle. Might grab another book page. But I've got a few more pieces. I want to use them up. I had just ripped these up with my ruler this morning, so I kind of like the shape of that, filling in that place. And I'll leave it up high so I can cut it off, cut the excess off when I'm finished. Okay. And I have one more piece of this. Oh no, actually I have a lot more, don't I? But I think this is enough of the purple. I want to add another background color, I think. So that. Didn't seem to get enough glue on that one, did I? There we go. And this over here to fill up this little empty spot. Right there. All right, let's see what we got. It's a good start. I want to pull something else into this background. I'd like to pull a little bit of music paper in there. Let me see if I can grab a piece of music paper very quickly. I know I have it right here somewhere. Never where you want it when you need it, is it? Let me see what I've got here. All right, we can just take a page out of this cookbook. I have two, so just put a little bit of cookbook page in here. That'll finish right in there. And you can see that it really doesn't matter. I do try to keep a similar background. So book page, a little bit of my journal page, but I'm not adding too many opposing designs. I mean, you can. Depends on how eclectic you are. This one, this journal is for my design team. I'll put the information down in my description later. But so I know what I want to do. I definitely have a plan for this masterboard. A lot of times I don't, but I actually, believe it or not, I have a plan for this. Get a piece right there, cover that up. We're almost done. Doesn't take long to do the basic background. And I will add a few focal points and make sure everything's glued down good. And then it's going to sit and dry for a little while. I want to make sure it's good and dry before I slice into it. Because if not, you get a lot of tears and rips, and it's just not as fun. So, just one little piece right there. One little piece. I think I'll take a little piece of the lilac paper and just put it right in that hole. Okay. So the very base of the masterboard is finished. You can see there's a little puckering. That's to be expected from the wet, because I watered down my matte medium to make it more of a decoupage medium. So you do expect to have a little bit of warping, but that does go away. And if it doesn't go in its own, sitting it under a heavy book will take care of it quickly. So the next thing, I just want to add a couple of focal points, and then I'll put it off to the side. And I'm thinking to use some of one of the pages out of my journal, or maybe a few of these little tissue pieces, because I printed this on rice paper. I think I'll do that. Just a few of these little pieces out of my rice paper. Let me hair this a little bit to get around the flowers. That's one that would be cute. And maybe this little box with the bases in it. I have something similar actually that I like to use in the summer when I've got all my flowers in the house. I love cut flowers. Oh, I love cut flowers. And what else? A couple more focal points. Maybe the bee. See the little bee on the lavender? That's really sweet. I like that. So yes, this printable came from a design team I'm on called Creative with a K, Kreatid. Paper Artisan. She has a Etsy shop, and I do enjoy designing for her team every month, something different. And this month it was Lavender and Lemons. How pretty is that? So let me get a little bit of water and take a little bit more of this white off and just spray it down a little bit. Just kind of want to pull the edges so it will fade into my paper better. Could have done that before I came on, but I really didn't know I was doing this. So forgive me for that. You can do this with a paintbrush and water. Just don't have it right here handy. Put that maybe on there. These little boots. Let's get some of the straight edges off the boots. Pull that out a little bit. Just bring those fibers out so that when you're putting it down on your paper, it seems to blend in nicely with the background. You don't have so many open cut edges. And water just helps the rice paper pull apart easier. Okay, that one, and maybe this one. Get these white edges off again. And if you lose part of your design, it's okay. So 3 of those. That would be nice focal points, I think. Kind of would like to put one more. Let me reach. I dropped it on the floor. You can get 1 or 2 more. Maybe maybe this lavender bucket here. I have 4 plants in my backyard, lavender plants. I planted 3 years ago. I love to grow lavender. If you grow lavender, you guys, if you don't, you should. In most places, it's fairly easy to grow and very easy to maintain once it gets started. You know, the first year getting it rooted might take a little time and attention, but once lavender is rooted in your ground, it really does do very well. I had one out by my mailbox at my other house, my last house I owned, and it grew craziness. It grew so much that it began to attract bees, and my mailman didn't like it, but it was gorgeous. It was just simply gorgeous. And then one more piece in, and then put those down, and we'll call it quits for today while this dries out. And I'll come back later or tomorrow and start making things out of this masterboard for my journal. Got a lot out of that, but that's okay. All right, let's see where we're going here. Just kind of place them randomly. Don't think about it too much, because when I go to cut this tomorrow or whenever I cut it, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to cut it from the back side, so I have no idea what I'm cutting. That way I won't worry about, cutting into something. I'm just going to get this down, and hopefully this will blend in nicely like I'm thinking it will, because it is rice paper, so it's like tissue. Just goes right in. But since I printed it on my printer here at home, I don't have a fancy printer, it's going to bleed a little bit. I like that, actually. I like how it bleeds into my paper. I'm going to use my thumb and make it bleed a little bit more, actually. All right, I'll get this one down. Right there. This is going to be a pretty masterboard. It's going to be a pretty journal. But then I'm kind of biased to Lavender and Lemons. It's pretty, isn't it? Yellow and purple together. Oh, I like how this one's bleeding in a little bit. Yeah. And we'll put this one down in this corner and let it go. All right, this is my masterboard. A little bit more down here and there to make sure all my edges are well glued. Oh, I didn't get this one yet, did I? Shame on me. Right up there. Pretty little teapot. Get the excess glue off of the board. Make sure everything's down nice and secure. And it does look that way. Trying to coat it all with just almost a dry brush, but just trying to coat it all, and it'll give that finish to it. And also just keep it really, really strong when you make pages, or rather pockets and bookmarks and belly bands. You have nice, strong paper to use as your design piece, so to speak. I think that's good. All right, you guys, I'm going to take this and let it to the side and let it dry real good and make sure it's nice and flat. If I have to put it under a couple of books tonight, I will, but it seems to be laying pretty good right now. So that's the beginning of a masterboard, and you're going to see this really take shape when it gets dry and I can start decorating more. I've got a lot of ideas to use on this. I know I'll be making some corner pockets. I know I'll be making some tags and maybe even some labels. I love to make my layered labels like these. So I might use a little bit of this background to do a few labels. I'm going to have to do at least 3 masterboards to get ready for my journal. So this is just my first one. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and come back and see me next time. If you did like it, if you would give me the thumbs up like on this video, I'd appreciate it. And I'd love if you'd subscribe if you're interested. Thanks so much. Have a great day, everyone.